Welcome back. Stasa23 here, back again with some knife therapy. And the knife I have in front of you was part of a pass around, and that is the WE Knives 804F Vapor. And this knife comes in right around $245 on Blade HQ's site. And we're going to dive into it and see if we think it warrants that price tag and what I think about the knife. I think this knife is designed to be your compact gentleman office size carry knife, and it definitely hits that perfectly. Let's go through some quick specs of the knife. You have a total length of 8 3/4 inches with a blade length of just shy of 3 inches, so it's going to be legal in a lot of areas. You have a cutting edge of 2 5/8 inches. You have a total handle length of 3 3/4 inches with a grip area of 3 1/4 inches. You have a handle thickness of 0.56 inches, which is a little bit over your average thickness, which is usually about 5.5 inches, which is fine with me. Gives it a little bit of extra grip for the size. Your width at the widest portion that I measured was 1.27 inches wide, and your blade stock thickness is right around 3 millimeters. So I like how they kind of kept it, decently thin, or they thinned it out pretty good. Behind the edge thickness at the thinnest portion was 16 thousandths, so ground very nice and thin with this high flat saber grind. Definitely a nice slicer. You do have that nice precise point for piercing. I love to see that. And this thing comes in at a nice svelte 2.64 ounces. So I think they did an excellent job with size, weight, overall dimensions for your, lightweight, slim package EDC office carry knife. So let's dive into it. You have a very nice, attractive drop point blade with this nice polished type stone wash finish. I really like that. You have this full length swedge that thins it down, tapers it down to the tip. So like I said, you have that nice performance tip there for piercing. You have the eagle eye hole that WE does with nice chamfering around there. With the detent setup on this knife, listen to this. You got a nice positive detent, so unless I really pinch that with both fingers, I can't spidey flick it or thumb flick it. The detent style just a little bit too strong. It's more made for your flipping action only, which is fine. You have absolutely no billboarding. WE does a great job of keeping it sterile. You got to whip out the magnifying glasses to see the blade steel designation. Let's see if I can get the focus, which is CPM S35 VN steel. Definite, good to go. Look, I can't even get the focus on that. But I like that. I like that it's there and it's not in your face there. WE does an awesome job of that. You also have a nice little thumb ramp where the jimping goes. The jimping is functional, and with that thumb ramp, it really locks you into place right here. I like that. Let's talk about ergos. I have a medium-sized hand, so I just get 4 fingers on there. If you have big old meat hooks, this may not be the right knife for you unless you don't mind having a 3.5 finger grip. But in this grip, I lock in very nicely. You have that nice, generous sharpening tool right there, executed perfectly, like right on the money. And at this price point, you definitely want to see those little things done perfectly. If you have small little fingers, you could probably choke up there. For me, it's just a little bit too risky, even though I could, but not without thinking about it, so I just won't use that. Let's go to the flipper tab. You have a very well executed flipper tab. You have that canted side with the jimping on it for your light switch, which that sucker rockets out with that crisp detent. And then, as you can see, they did a great job of leaving that flat portion right there with the jimping. So if you want to do a push button, you can rocket it out as well. Let's go on to the handle scales. The handle scales are very well softened all the way around. You have no sharp edges, and they do a great job of keeping it nice and crisp, softened sides right there. I love that. That reminds me of like the my favorite Kaiser, the Wanderer. They do a great job of softening. Just flattened scales, but with those nice chamfers going down there, it softens it very, very nicely. Then you have this beautifully done contoured carbon fiber inlay. It's almost to a polish. It somewhat has that satin gloss to it. Very, very nice touch. Gives it that high-end look that you're looking for. Like I said, at the $245, you want those high-end touches. Let's see. You have standard Torx T8 on the entire knife. That is a huge plus. Not to mention, WE makes their pivot, their hardware in-house, so it's very nice and crisp. Fits your Torx drivers very tightly, and no slippage going on there. You have a nice, generous lanyard hole that you can fit some 550. One thing that I see on this knife that I hadn't been seeing on some of their other models is it is tip up, both left and right hand carry. I love to see that, so it caters to your lefties and your righties. And let's see, if you're a lefty, you should easily be able to use this knife without a problem. I use my knives on both sides of my shards, so I love to see this too. Very, very nice. I usually put the smaller, more sheeple-friendly knife on my left side, the one that I'm not going to scare people with, and my larger blade on my right side. So there you go. Oh, let's see. They got the carbon fiber on both sides. That's a nice touch. I hate whenever they just do it on one side and they cheapen out and don't put it on this side. You definitely have your hardened steel interface that is well hidden in there. We'll talk about that toward the end. Another very nice touch. Let's close this guy up. The backspacer, I don't know if I better show this, but that is carbon fiber. Very, very nice touch. A lot of times you'll just see them throw in a G10 backspacer. Almost a full length with that geared pattern on there. Very nice touch. Let's see. Let's make sure I talk about everything. You have the WE excellent pocket clip. Great retention. Just perfect. They do it probably the best in the business that I've noticed. And they have the carbon fiber underneath there that's smooth, so it's going to go in and out of the pocket really nicely. Let's get our simulated pocket out. One day I'll get some real jeans to show y'all. But this way I can show y'all flat pocket. There you go. Not much sticking out. And with your slanted khaki style pockets. And see that I don't have to lift up on that clip. It has enough ramp and it sits nice and deep. And I like how they, I don't know, I'm kind of torn with 50-50 with the black pocket clip. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Not sure. I might have wanted to see it match the scales, but being that you got the black carbon fiber backspacer and all the black here, I guess it goes well. Just think it kind of mutes the pocket clip. That's just my opinion. Let's see. Did I talk about everything that I want to talk about before I show the size comparisons? Yep, that wraps up my overall thoughts. And I'm guessing you could call this almost like a sub bolster lock, being that this inlay right here acts as, your over travel right there. It's really cool because I noticed the way my fingers hit whenever I'm going to open the knife. I didn't have to worry about my fingers sitting on this lock bar because they sit on that carbon fiber, and I was able to reliably flip it every time. There's no way I cannot. Usually I can do like this. Let's see, I might be able to do it like this. Yeah, that's the only way that I can not flip the knife. Any other way, if I put my finger on here, no matter what, it's going to flip out because this detent is nice and crisp. Some people may think it's a little strong. I think it's just fine. It would have been a little bit nicer to see it dialed back just a little bit so I could, spidey flick it, so I could slow roll it, but oh well, can't win it every time. Let's get some size comparisons. Like I said, this is your compact size knife, perfect for a lot of people, legal in a lot of areas. First one up to bat, the Spyderco Para 3. Para 3's got a little bit extra length on it. The next one is J.D. Deventer. I don't know, he's a South African maker. This is his EDC front flipper, and it's a little bit, this one's a little bit bigger than the EDC front flipper. Got the Strider SJ75. Sorry guys, I'm battling a pretty nasty cold here. These two are almost identical in size. The SJ might be it's a hair bigger in the blade. Also, the DPX Gear Hest Urban. These are all in kind of the same ballpark, just to give you an idea, you know, of the price tag, whether it's warranted or not. And the Urban is a little bit smaller than the Vapor. This is one from Bestech that is slowly becoming one of my favorite compact, smaller knives, and that is my Goblin that I did a copper wash on there. I'm going to be doing a video here soon of the mods I've done here lately, but you can see the Goblin's a good bit smaller than the Vapor. And one more last common blade that tons of people have handled. You got your Delica 4. So as you can see, it's smaller than the Delica 4 by just a little bit. So if you get a good size reference, your Vapor is smaller in hand than the Delica 4. So there's my size comparisons, and let's get some few quick complaints. These are minuscule gripes. I say this in every one, and I will until they change this. Same blue ano, wish they would change that up, and I wish they would at least match the Wii pivot with at least, like, I mean, why? That just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. There's got to be some reasoning behind that. Even though this knife is super light, it would have been nice to see some milling pockets in there just to lighten it up even more, being that this is going to be your lightweight gentleman's carry, suit carry, so the lighter the better. Let's check the balance point out on this guy. The balance point is sitting a little bit further back. I'd rather see it sit up there in the choil. Like I said, it is super light as it is. It could have been just a little lighter with the lightning pockets. But I did say in my other videos, it may not be able to happen, being that they had to mill out pockets to fit these inlays. So maybe that's why. I'm not too sure. I don't design these knives. I just give my critiques. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, they always do an excellent job of relieving where that lock bar is. It's super comfortable to get your finger in there to disengage that lock. I always love to see that. Anything that saves my already messed up hands is a plus on my part. Other than that, like I said, this pocket clip, I'm 50-50 on that. I think I might have liked to see it in a different color to match maybe the scales, being that it's sitting on top of this carbon fiber. It kind of mutes that pocket clip. Y'all tell me y'all thoughts on that. You know, that's just, like I said, it's not hurting the functionality of this blade whatsoever. And last thing, the detent on this guy is pretty strong, being that you have this this hole in here that could allow you to do multiple opening methods, especially if you're in an environment where you're not trying to scare somebody. Sometimes hearing that thwack will frighten your sheeple. So it would have been nice to see the detent dialed back to where you could reliably spider flick it or thumb flick it. And this is just one sample of the knife. So, you know, this one might just be dialed in a little bit stronger than the rest. If you own the Vapor, let me know that. I'd like to see if they all have the stronger detent. That's something that I would definitely like to know. Just, you know, because like I said, when us reviewers are reviewing these knives, we only have one sample, you know. Sometimes, you know, it could have been cherry picked. In Wee's case, I know we just get the one that he has for samples, so that's a good thing to know, that it's not a cherry picked knife, at least that for as far as I know. So definitely like the size of this guy. Like I said, if you have that medium size hand, medium to small or whatever, this is going to be a super comfortable knife. The ergos in this grip are super comfortable. Here's comfortable. Here it's pretty comfortable. You do feel that pocket clip. You can get this scraping grip. This grip is okay, but you do have that thinned out spine, and I don't know why you would do the reverse grip in here, but it's decently comfortable. So my thoughts on the Minotaur: $245. It is going to hit those, you know, those higher end collectors looking for those little extra fine details in the knife, like these extra chamfers, the carbon fiber on both sides, you know, the tie hardware, the T8 throughout, all those little things, and the carbon fiber backspacer instead of a G10. All those little things are machining time and labor and extra cost. So I think at $245, you know, when I'm looking at this knife that is more expensive, and this guy that is way more expensive, this guy that is more expensive, you know, it's all going to appeal to a different market, and it just depends on what you're looking for and what's right for you. You know, you can definitely find a knife in this size, you know, with, I'm sure, a similar blade shape that, you know, can fit your price point that you're looking for. But if this price doesn't bother you, this knife is functionally perfection. Like I said, besides the little bitty gripes I've made here and there, but I definitely don't think you'll be disappointed in this knife. I love how they use a thinner blade stock, thinned out that grind. This thing was a slicing machine. I sliced some pretty thick triple-walled cardboard, and it had no issues whatsoever. S35VN. It's very easy to strap back up, touch back up on my Spyderco Sharp Maker, and now I'm rambling. So definitely, if you're on the fence, definitely give this guy a go. I don't think you'll be disappointed whatsoever, as long as you don't have huge hands. And if you like my videos in general, please give it a big thumbs up. If you're not already, hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, hit that bell button right on side the subscribe button, because you don't want to miss a thing. As soon as I hit 2,000 subscribers, I will be doing a cool giveaway. I will try to have some nice prizes for all my loyal supporters that I really appreciate a whole lot. And also, if you're stuck around this long, please let me know. I'll be asking this in the next few videos. If there's something that you would like to see on my channel, I don't want to make my channel start to get boring and repetitive with just the reviews. I plan on trying to video some of the footage of my cut tests that I do for each one of these knives whenever I'm trying to decide the ergos and how the steel holds up. If y'all want to see those type, let me know. I definitely plan on trying to do some sharpening videos. I've had a lot of people request that, and I will try my hardest to video some of my modification work. So let me know if there's anything else y'all would like to see, and I hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.